time for your Start Smart to go. And hey, why don't we check in with Kylie? She did a good job with weather today, didn't she?
Of course she did.
Little musical chairs here. Yes, let's take a look at your forecast. 110 today. It's going to be a warm one out there, but we will see a chance of some blow.
Cox Home Life. Home
Of the valley, and then look at that. We have a chance of some showers and thunderstorms in our area Sunday into Monday, and also seeing temperatures drop. Woo, 105.
Oh,
cool
yeah,
down,
chilly.
baby.
And Marcy, how are the roads looking out there?
We have a real mess on eastbound I-10 if you're coming in from the West Valley due to a stalled city bus there at the stack on your eastbound lanes. You may want to take your surface streets instead this morning. Also watch for a crash blocking 2 lanes of traffic up in the North Valley eastbound Loop 101 there at Beardsley. East Valley starting to see.
We are never moving to the...
Military officials confirm an F-16 crashed last night.
Maybe it's the music guy.
Looks like that moisture really going to return.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Dear Stranger.
Do with my idea for a new product. I'll tell.
Cat was kind of a fraidy cat until now.
Yeah, the bear. It's unbearable to see. Poor little guy.
I was waiting for you to say
guard
that.
dog, they got some guard cat.
Yeah, they do. Well, coming up to today's show, he is Amy Poehler's brother, but you know he's got comedic chops all of his own. Greg Poehler stops by to talk about his hilarious new comedy. It's called Welcome to Sweden.
Yeah, just in time for Throwback Thursday, the band
Belong anywhere.
Arizona morning.
Well, good morning, everyone. We call this Friday Eve.
Yeah.
Glad you're with us.
We're all happy about that, right, Beth?
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay, so listen to this story here. It's a growing trend. There's parents using GPS trackers to keep tabs on their children.
Oh, this is good. They're chipping them, right? Like dogs. You know, which I thought, why don't they just chip those prisoners up there in Dannemora, New York? Every prisoner should be chipped.
Yes.
I'm sure it would cost the taxpayers a lot of money, and nobody wants to spend more money than...
Oh, yeah. So is his search.
They can chip themselves.
No kidding.
Get a
How do they chip themselves?
Maybe do like that movie, I forgot what it's called, where
They
they
do
like
their own
slit
laundry,
it behind your ear and stick it in there, you know?
That sounds weird.
Then you're, you know,
They're making their own license plates and washing their own clothes.
Yeah.
They're probably all the way up to Hudson Bay.
Anyway.
And unfortunately, they were doing their own cooking, too. That's how they got this stuff to break out of jail.
Yeah, no kidding.
Jeez Louise. So here's this deal. So there's over 340,500 U.S. kids go missing from parents.
Wow.
For over an hour annually.
Oh, just for a short time.
Yeah,
Apartment store.
Like you're in a tree house?
Yeah, and your mom can't, or you're hiding behind a rack of clothes at the store, and your mom can't find you.
Oh, mine did that.
Right?
Right.
Didn't that scare
It scares you. They're gone for 10 seconds, and you're screaming in the store. Where are you? Panic.
Am I supposed to get this wound up? Kids go missing for an hour.
Yeah.
Honestly, Ron, how agitated am I supposed to be?
The number happens to be 340,500. That's the number.
You mean you've never been worried like you're at a store when your girls were young and they like got
Corey
away
calls that nap time.
I left Haley at customer service in an infant carrier.
On purpose?
At a store.
On purpose.
Okay. No, not on
How did you forget her? Sometimes I wonder.
I was having a big conversation with the ladies. Hey, love the baby. Mom's showing her off, and then, I don't know.
Obviously, so you meant a lot. Showing her off and then you forget her.
So you can sympathize with people who have their...
Already dear wife.
So get this, you know, there's a lot of talk about Amazon and, you know, drones, all stuff. So there's actually on Amazon more than 290 different types for your kids. They're like arm straps, you know, stuff you stick into their backpacks. Or,
I've seen that. We've had, the backpack one I've seen.
Yeah. So there's
I don't know. I think you let your guard down that way. I think you should. He always had to be on your toes.
Yeah.
Do it the old-fashioned way.
With your eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
Thanks, we'll chat with you in a sec. Fox 10 AZAM. Get started right.
You're watching Fox 10 Arizona Morning with Ron Hoon, Rick D'Amico, Andrea Robinson, Kristen Anderson, and Corey McCloskey in HD.
Well, flames, they are shooting out of a fire, proving tough for firefighters. Anita Roman following this Fox 10 News Alert.
No one was inside. We'll have an update coming up. And a fighter night, wow, the pictures are terrible. The pilot, we don't have any word on
condition. The new information we are learning.
New meningitis vaccine, a requirement for incoming college freshmen. We're seeing more and more meningitis outbreaks. So why the increase? One health expert joins us in a bit this morning. Hey, Cor.
All right, it's going to be a warm day. Don't want to kid you, a hot day, really, 111. And you can feel the humidity on the increase here across Arizona. I don't think we'll be seeing the thunderstorms, though, till perhaps the weekend. I'll talk about that in the forecast in just a few minutes, you guys.
Oh, but it's nice and cool. It'll cool it down a little for that 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, that might be good.
You know? Hey, Rob.
Okay. All right, you guys, here we are, 7:01. Lots of news to get to this morning. In fact, we had a house catch fire early this morning in a neighborhood east of downtown Phoenix. In fact, the carport of the home comes crumbling down. It was a hot, muggy morning for these firefighters on this job. Anita Roman following the story live.
Hey, good morning, Ron. That firefighter just fine because he was wearing all that protective gear, uninjured when that roof of that carport fell on top of him. Let me give you a live look at what's going on right now. Very quiet scene, very different from what it was like when we arrived. Firefighters have done their job. They put out the fire. They made sure all the hot spots were out. Now SRP is on scene. Take a look at some video. Crews called out here just about 4:30 this morning. Neighbors called 911 when they heard pops coming from the house next door. Firefighters said they saw huge plumes of smoke billowing high into the air as they approached, along with some pretty wild flames. They were able to get into the house and search it, which is regular protocol, made sure no one was inside, and then they started battling that fire. It looks like the house is a pretty big loss, and this was a pretty intense fire. We talked to some people who were just down the street when it broke out. Take a listen.
20 to 30 feet high in the air. Which way they rule on that. But again, the big ones, as we mentioned, Obamacare and same-sex marriage. Stand by as we wait that. In the meantime, emails were destroyed, and a lot of them. That's the conclusion of an internal investigation and a congressional hearing underway right now on those IRS emails. A new report shows that backup tapes that could have recovered thousands of Lois Lerner's documents were destroyed after they were subpoenaed. House Oversight Committee Chair Jason Chaffetz saying that investigators must get to the bottom of what happened to those emails.
Where it is that we are talking about. So if you got the Phoenix area up here and you come down the I-10 past Tucson, let's zoom in here. In fact, if you go down,
and that evidence was destroyed. You add this all in combination, it just defies any sense of logic. It gets to the point where it truly gets to be unbelievable. Somebody has to be held accountable.
Well, Rich Edson's live in Washington. Rich, you've been watching that hearing, and good morning to you. What are they finding?
Well, Bill, the lead investigator, the Treasury Inspector General, says there could be as many as 23,000 to 24,000 additional missing emails from Lois Lerner. J. Russell George, the Inspector General, also says the Internal Revenue Service failed to search several sources like backup tapes, hard drives, and loaner laptops, sources that ultimately produced previously undisclosed emails. George also charges, despite an order to preserve any evidence related to the agency's targeting of conservative groups, the IRS purged its system of those emails anyway.
As was pointed out, this was 1 month after the IRS realized they were missing emails from Lois Lerner, and about 8 months after this committee requested all documents and communications.
This morning when we were able to get the last update.
Lerner was the director of the IRS's Exempt Organizations Office. It decides which organizations meet the criteria for a tax-exempt status. For more than 2 years, that office says it singled out and delayed applications for conservative and Tea Party groups, denying them a classification that allows them to avoid federal taxes, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, this Inspector General says the emails are gone, and depending on who you listen to, the emails are somewhere on some server or not. Now, are committee Democrats cooperating on this investigation, Rich?
Well, when the IRS first acknowledged 2 years ago that it was targeting conservative groups, Republicans and Democrats largely criticized the IRS at the time. Now the committee's top Democrat says this investigation into Lerner has gone on too long, found nothing, and cost too much money.
This investigation has squandered tens of millions of taxpayer dollars.
We're working to get you
possible evidence to support Republican accusations against Lois Lerner, the IRS, and the White House.
Republicans say there are still tens of thousands of learner emails left unrecovered and that the IRS erased them, knowing it should have preserved them. They say that alone is worth looking into.
Wow, that hearing continues. Thank you, Rich. More headlines when we get them. Rich Edson in Washington.
Well, Hillary Clinton now leading all Republican rivals in the race for the White House, except one. A new Fox News poll shows that she and Jeb Bush are tied at 43% of the vote if the two were to go head-to-head.
That Greyhound bus passenger who attacked
Right now, the search continues for a missing couple from Pinal County. Michael and Tina Correcchia have not been seen since Monday. They were
in January of last year, and it caused 24 people to be injured. So the sentencing will be next month. A popular restaurant up in Yavapai County was damaged yesterday because, well, somebody lost control.
Are looking for a man accused of holding up a hotel at gunpoint. Police say the suspect pointed a gun at the clerk and then demanded money. He took off with the cash, and then just hours later, police believe that same man.
The teenage driver wasn't hurt. He was cited for failing to control his vehicle. They say that it looks like alcohol didn't play a role. Unclear if the driver might have been distracted. Developing this morning, authorities are still searching for that Maricopa couple who seemingly have just vanished into thin air. And it's been going on now for the entire week. It started Monday morning. Pinal County Sheriff's Office.
To carry the mantle.
Yeah, you know, it's always interesting when you dig into these and you look at some of the internals, because the headline has been that Hillary Clinton